Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. I hope that we're gonna stay stable. I have restarted the computer. I have tried a lot of different things with the internet right now to make sure it's gonna stay stable, because we have a lawsuit update on our hands. James Fillon came back in for the Ripple v SEC lawsuit to provide some information. And oh boy, have I been waiting a good little while for finally a next piece of information. I don't know what else to tell you. Finally, we got ourselves some more information on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. It feels like it's been months, and it feels like James Fillon has been gone for a freaking eternity. But as I just said, finally, I got some stuff to say again. And even though that this is not the biggest of the biggest sorts of updates, I think it'll do good for the people to understand what exactly is going on right now and what the schedule is going to look like from here on forward in the near future. So if you guys are excited, make sure you press that like button, as we're also going to be talking about the XRP price somewhere throughout this video, as we just got a very nice bounce in our newest demand zone, which at first was a supply zone, which is pretty juicy. For anybody who've been watching the channel, I wonder if you guys bought some XRP right there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Again, there might be a little bit of lag every here and there, because I'm going to throw my MacBook out the window pretty shortly here. But I try my best, guys, to provide you guys with the most accurate and most quick amount of info. All right. So James Fillon just shared this over on his Twitter. Below is an updated schedule, and although it's been quiet publicly, you will see that the parties have a lot of work to do based on recent decisions on discovery disputes. And I think that's kind of funny as well, from the perspective that we have literally been waiting so long on any update in the most quote-unquote busy phase of the lawsuit. Isn't it interesting that literally in the most critical spot within the lawsuit you have no updates? Some of you guys are saying dropping out video. I don't know what to do right there, guys. If the video is like popping out a couple of times, I'm very sorry, but this is the best that I can do. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. So first of all, November 12th was originally, oh no, this is actually accurate still, is the deadline for exchange of expert rebuttal reports. And as I first got it, first of all, this was gonna be a what does that mean? I got a little scary message, guys. I'm just quickly checking this out. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I just saw something in my chat box. I had to quickly check it out. Sometimes you get an important message and you cannot wait, even though you're streaming. But we'll cover this. All right. So at first, this was basically the deadline for the expert discovery in total. Right now, it's been changed to the expert rebuttal reports. Is it important? Not at all. Because I'm not even sure if we're going to see something on that day, as whenever something like that is posted, I'm not even sure if it actually becomes posted to the public or anything like that. But we shall see, all right? We're keeping November 12th in the back of our heads. Let's head over into December 6th. Deadline for the SEC to comply with the most aspects of the court's October 21st order regarding two discovery disputes. Specifically, the order requiring the following. The SEC, in responding to Ripple's interrogatories, has to specifically identify any term in any XRP sales contract that created an expectation of profits. There are approximately 1,500 contracts, and those answers are due by December 6th of 2021. Now, the SEC has to answer whether efforts by Ripple were necessary to affect any increase in the price of XRP, and that answer is due December 6th. So we got both of those due by December 6th, right? And then also the SEC has to respond to the 776 requests, which I think are all falling under one category. for admission that relate to the Ripple's fair notice defense, but Judge Netburn gave the SEC until 30 days after Judge Torres's ruling on the motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense to provide those responses. So for this last response, we have to wait until the judge rules on the motion to strike. And then from that point on, they have 30 days to respond. So it's going to take a pretty long while for us to actually get this answer. Now, if the SEC's motion to strike is granted, the SEC won't have to answer those requests for admission, because Ripple is asking the SEC a lot of information in all of these three things, by the way. Ripple is asking the SEC a ton of info. And for this last part, they're regarding the motion to strike. And if the motion to strike is actually granted, then the SEC doesn't have to assign questions answer questions about it, which is pretty logical. I'm seeing a lot of you guys talk in the chat box right now. Where are you guys all watching from? Let me know in the chat box real quick where you guys are all watching from. We got number 4. The SEC has to respond to 309 requests for admission relating to the defendant's use under Morrison v. Natal Austell Bank Limited, 561 US 247, that XRP sales occurred offshore, and those responses are due December 6th. So as it currently stands, December 6th is going to be the craziest day, huh? Then again, I believe that the majority of this was asked by Ripple at once, where they basically just asked for a ton of different information, yet they fall under different categories, which is also why James Fillon here wrote them down in different categories, but they're all basically in the same request. Now, number 5, before we actually go on with number 5 here, as I said before, it was rather interesting to me that all of this is happening whilst it's, I guess, the most busy time right now, as expert discovery is filled with depositions, yet we're not seeing any fruits bear from it, basically, in comparison to the other discovery period, the fact discovery one. Number 5, the SEC has to answer whether the XRP ledger was fully functional when the XRP distribution started in 2013. But there first needs to be a meet and confer between counsel for Chris Larsen and the SEC to clarify the term fully functional. We don't know if that meet and confer has occurred, so we don't know exactly when that question will be answered. Okay. Checking out what you guys are saying. Toronto gang, a lot of people from Toronto. We got Connecticut, we got Missouri, Venlo. We got ourselves Montreal, Canada, Nederland, Houston, California, Netherlands, South Africa, New Zealand, Florida. Somebody says fair notice defense has been going on for how long now? So the fair notice defense, of course, will go on to the bitter end. It's mostly about the motion to strike the fair notice defense. That's the crazy part. The fact that the judge didn't say, throw it out the window just quite yet. That is the crazy part. Not the fact that the defense, I would say, is still there. Because the defense you would want to have to the end of the day, At least that's my thought process. So that's not too crazy. Amsterdam, Estonia, Finland, Germany. All right. We got the entire world here, huh? By the way, guys, did you get a notification for this video, or did you just stumble upon it like a lot of you guys do? Let me know in the chat box as well. I think a lot of people might have gotten a notification because there was a ton of people in. Then again, I'm not really too sure anymore about the notification system on YouTube, man. It's a crazy system. Okay, so it's 50-50 in the chat box. Some did and some didn't. All right. Some did, some didn't. All right, good. Now, let us see further. Number 6, the SEC answered numerous interrogatories by incorporating, by reference, its answers to the other interrogatories. So this basically means the SEC answered some questions with the answer from a different question saying, hey, we already answered it here, so we don't need to answer it again. Now, again, Ripple came up and said, you can't do that in that way. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 33B3 states that each interrogatory must, to the extent it is not objected to, be answered separately and fully under oath. Judge Netburn ordered the SEC to go back up and clean up the answers in which it referenced an answer in a previous interrogatory and instead answer it separately as required. All right, then we got January 14th, deadline for expert discovery. We don't know if the following has been completed from previous discovery decisions. Ripple was ordered to produce relevant Slack messages involving 22 custodians. Ripple stated that it could take as long as 12 weeks to complete, so we don't know whether that has been completed or is still ongoing. Okay, so let's read that one again. Ripple was ordered to produce a ton. It's like a freaking million Slack messages, by the way, involving 22 people that they talked to, basically. Ripple stated that it could take as long as 12 weeks to do that, which the judge complied and said that is fine, so that is still ongoing. But we don't know how far it's gone, and we don't know what messages, but that's, again, still going on right now. And then we also got, Ripple's motion to compel, which basically is a request for stuff. Turnover of pre-clearing trading decisions was denied, which basically means that, as far as I know, on whether or not the SEC was allowed to trade it, they didn't get the info. The SEC was directed to provide the defendants any documentation supporting the SEC's counsel statements during the August 25th meet and confer that after the formal order of investigation of Ripple was issued on March 9, 2019, SEC employees could no longer trade XRP, meaning we want to know more about why the SEC and from what point. I guess we know the point, but we want to know more documentation about how it was communicated and everything like that on March 9th to the SEC members. They could not anymore trade XRP. We want like the I guess the information about why exactly they couldn't anymore and what they communicated with their internal members, which I think is actually quite amazing, because that could literally showcase for Ripple a lot of the facts about what the SEC's internal thoughts were right at the point. Now, there's no indication whether that has been done, but in the absence of any follow-up motion on the issue, it is reasonable to assume that it has been done, because otherwise they would have asked for information and updates sooner, or stuff like that. Then again, you can also kind of guess right now that because we've seen all this, because we have not seen any fuss about any of the things, that you might argue that a lot of this stuff hasn't been done just quite yet. Let me quickly put in a timestamp and I'll talk to you guys exactly what I mean with that. 12 minutes in. There we go. So what I mean with that is, right now we are in the expert discovery phase, which basically means that as it currently stands, both Ripple and the SEC are going towards experts and asking them for opinions, legal opinions, everything. But also, for example, about the XRP ledger, like they go to lawyers, for example, and ask about whether or not something that's fully functional would matter. But also then again to other experts to claim, hey, we would say that the XRP ledger is now not fully functional. Another person might say, yes, it is. And all that type of stuff you need to basically prove in court that under reasonable assumption you did something or you assumed something, right? And following all that right now, there would have usually, as far as I now know from my minimal law experience by looking into some of the lawsuits now, there would usually be a couple of disputes and a couple of questions towards the other party. Then again, we do know that there is a very unhealthy amount of depositions happening right now. I believe the SEC has 22 depositions planned in November, which basically means they're going to be asking different people about different questions. And so the fact that that's going on, they might not have too much time to actually process all the information just quite yet and file motions. They're mostly just gathering intel and gathering info from the perspective that this discovery period had been extended from November 12th, which was the earlier date, to right now, January 12th, if I'm not mistaken, guys. So from that perspective, they have all the time in the world anyway to do it as well. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, I mean, they have a lot of time. By the way, guys, we have like 350 people watching. If you're watching the channel every single day, or something along those lines, make sure you press that like button to help the video perform just a little bit better in the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it a lot. Let's move on with a couple of other little parts because we have more. Let's see here. 14 minutes in about. All right, I'm checking. I see Malaysia. I guess Malaysia is the only one I'm seeing right now in the chat box. What's up? All right, so we're waiting on decisions regarding the following. I believe from, let's see. The Ripple defendants pending motion to compel the SEC to produce certain documents it designated as privileged, including the 3 documents. Oh, yeah. So we are waiting for the judge to make a couple of decisions on all of this. Ripple basically wanted a lot of information from the SEC, because the SEC claimed that every single piece of info that they have, that is all privileged. It all shouldn't be handed over to Ripple because they all, all of it is it's secret, blah, blah, blah. Ripple said, hey, you know what? Send some of this information over to the judge and she'll decide, which the judge has done. So that was basically what was the in-camera review, where the judge was going to look over some of the documents which the SEC designated as privileged. and then make her own decision on whether or not it is right or wrong, and whether or not Ripple should have access to some of that information. And I guess I can say I get that, and I understand as well that it might take some time, as these are most likely a ton of freaking documents. Now, the SEC's motion for a telephone conference, which would be very juicy. I would definitely like to see that. And order compelling Ripple to search for and produce video and audio tape recordings of internal Ripple meetings, where Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larsen, and other key Ripple employees spoke on relevant topics to disputes in lawsuit. So what they basically want here, as far as I get it right now, is the SEC wants to know more about some of the video and audio that Ripple took internally. And since they couldn't really fix their discussion, like they couldn't get out of it, they right now want to see for the judge's help, but they want to do it in a telephonic conference. So they basically want to go back and forth on the telephone about it with the judge there. They also want, I guess the judge is also making a decision on the SEC's motion to strike Ripple's lack of due process and fairness affirmative defense. An affirmative defense meaning, if they basically pull through with this one, they win, so to speak. And the fact that the SEC has striked it from like the start and is still ongoing. That, of course, annoys people a little bit, but I think it's very important to understand that this is most likely the most important part of the entire lawsuit. Because the fair notice basically revolves around the fact that Ripple didn't really know and the SEC didn't make proper rules. And that is obviously going to be the most important for every other crypto project from here on forward. Yeah, it's important stuff, guys. It's important stuff. I'm seeing a lot of South Africa. 3 of them in the chat box. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? And then we also have the individual defendant's motion to dismiss the SEC's first amended complaint, which is basically Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse saying, you know what, just sue Ripple, don't sue all of us. So we get that. All right. There's no argument dates that have been set regarding the motion to dismiss or the motion to strike. No further telephonic conferences, so no hearing, have been scheduled to discuss any outstanding discovery disputes as of this time. And the deadline for the parties to exchange their responsive statements of material facts pursuant to Local Rule 56.1 and their pre-motion letters regarding motions for summary judgment was adjourned since D. No specific date set, and pending resolution of the motions to dismiss and strike. So what that basically means is right now we have basically the motion to dismiss and the motion to strike first, and then we'll most likely see a date or a date close to the decision from that one on the new filing for the motion for summary judgment, which is going to be the most important part of everything, as that is going to basically set in play the entire quote-unquote actual lawsuit. I know all of this is already a lawsuit, don't get me wrong, but from that point on forward, we're going to see the actual, the fighting in court, the normal thing which we usually see. So while it may be quiet in terms of motions being filed on the public docket, the parties have a lot of things to work on behind the scenes. Okay. You know what? Let me put a timestamp in real quick. Let me give you guys my thought process on this right now. There we go. All right. So my conclusion right now is both Ripple and the SEC are working hard. We know more from the SEC, though, about what they're doing because they basically admitted that they have a ton of people that they want to depose. And since they couldn't get enough time for that, they wanted to extend the lawsuit this part of the lawsuit from November to January. From the perspective that that's going on from their side, I do wonder what Ripple is working on and who they're questioning, who they're deposing. And for the fact that right now there's not really that many ongoing disputes between the two, there's only like decisions that are made up for the judge to decide on. I'm like, well, we're just basically waiting for the judge to make decisions every single day. It's like we don't really have any reason to be excited or sad right now, as we have to wait for the judge to make a decision. Is Ripple looking good in this entire debacle? I would personally say yes. They're looking pretty damn juicy. But has the situation changed for the positive over the last week or so? No, we really haven't seen any new update for this part. And, we're seeing a couple of insider dates again. That would be funny. More insiders. No, but I would say if I had to make a way off here, I would still say, yeah, I'm fully going for XRP, mostly from the perspective that they're still looking to, in the end of the day, win. But there's really not that much that's just changed. We just have a ton of different decisions that the judge has to give her ruling on, basically. Like every single thing we're seeing right here is just basically waiting for the judge to say something about it. Yeah. I think so, right? We have a couple of disputes here. The SEC has to answer whether efforts by Ripple were necessary, but even there, like these disputes, they're due by December 6th, which is like a month away from now on as well. So what else do we have for the real short term? I don't think there's really much. James says, man, I joined late, but I'm here. Went back to the beginning and I'm with it. Good, James. Good to hear. Audio is fine. I hope so. Do you guys have any questions about the lawsuit as well? Just let me quickly know in the chat box if you guys have any questions about what's going on. So, again, to kind of summarize, we have a couple of things right here which the SEC, for example, has to still respond to and still do. That's like the first page right here. A couple of deadlines have been set. Deadline for the SEC to comply with most aspects of the court's October 21st order are mostly December 6th, and for the other things, they have no specific date, as I currently read it. And then we have a couple of things which Ripple was ordered to do, but we don't know if they're doing that because there's no real date outstanding. It's like, you have to do this, you know, in the background, they couldn't have done it because they're giving over information to the SEC, but they could do that behind closed doors, so to speak. And then the judge has to basically reply to a lot of different things, but again, we have no real dates for that as the judge replies whenever she wants to. So that's like the three main things which are going on right now. So you might think, oh, November 12th, November 6th, and January. But this is January 14th that we have these freaking deadlines for. That's not really something that I'm really looking, you know. I'm not like, oh, okay, let's just quickly wait till January 14th. Like it's around the corner. This is 2 months away, you know, so, Can the judge just say, enough is enough and make a decision at a random time? Yes. The judge can make a decision at any time. But that's a little bit strange. Right? She has to, of course, come to a good conclusion as to why she would rule something like that. Although, like for example, right? Let's say from the perspective that SEC all of a sudden backs out, the judge has no option, right, to give the one party. But usually, I think in points like this, we are not going to see anything conclude basically for a very long time, unless these parties come together for a settlement, basically, which again is also a very small chance because I believe both sides have a very, very high incentive to quote unquote win. And even though we have talked before about in what scenarios the SEC and Ripple could quote unquote win, I think the stakes have changed a little bit. With the amount of pressure that's being put on this lawsuit, I don't think both sides actually want to give an inch. You might say, oh yeah, but there's always a scenario in which a settlement could be possible. It's true. There's always a scenario. But I'm not sure if these guys are going to find that scenario. Because the SEC might really not settle for anything less than XRP becoming a security. And that little bridge cannot be overridden, for example, by Ripple's side. It could be that the SEC doesn't just accept the cash prize and Ripple admitting that they were wrong. And Ripple, from a certain perspective, might actually not be able to admit to anything. And even though, again, a fine would not be a problem at all for Ripple. I even think if they had to pay a $150 million fine, that they would still just do it and get this over with, because the amount of money that's to be made is going to be way better. I don't know if that's a possibility for both these sides. But let's skip talking about the judge, because if it's about the judge, it's going to take a long time. You know, it's not going to happen fast. There's no way about it. How much will the fine be? I have no idea. I cannot make any reasonable assumption for that. And about the legal costs, I'm going to say standard. They will, most likely SEC will eventually have to pay for, if the SEC completely loses, right, for Ripple's legal costs. But there'll most likely be another small dispute about that one, because in the last company that sued Ripple, they basically lost and had to pay for Ripple's like $4 million legal fine or costs. However, there was another, I think, quote-unquote, lawsuit about those legal costs as well. Yeah, I think there was a lawsuit about the legal costs, or at least a very big dispute. So most likely we'll see something like that again, unless it normally doesn't happen, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to actually accurately say that. Do I have any info on the solo airdrop? No, I don't. Be careful with airdrops as well. Be a little bit careful that you don't put your private keys somewhere. Just letting you guys know that. The people, crypto decide to come. Okay, what leverage do you use for your long-term trades? It depends. It really depends. I mostly go for like 10, but I would say more responsible is maybe something like, I don't know, 3. But I usually go for 10, maybe 15. You can see the Bitcoin one and the XRP one here. It is open. We have 10 on the XRP one and 15 on the Bitcoin one. Hey, look at that. Nice little bounce. Look at that. Beautiful. Very freaking beautiful. So that was basically the area which we had to overcome yesterday. We just surged past it. Right now we're bouncing back from there. Again, very nice stuff to see, you know. Because for XRP, as I've said before, you don't actually have to be actively trading it. I would say if you're just a hodler, there's no negative side in hodling. But the trading has been really doing us really well over the last couple of days because I guess the price has just been on the upper end. And you know, when things are just going up and up and up, trading is not that difficult. It's just about finding the right place to buy. But, you know, where to sell is not really the biggest issue at hand here. And that's the juiciness of trading in a very bull market. If you just buy, sort of, or trade or buy, it's kind of the same thing at that point, you're mostly good. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. It's just so easy to make money with trading. It's so easy to make money with crypto because we're just on the up and up and up and up and up. And there's no really good reason to assume that this is going to be over very shortly here because I'm expecting Ethereum and Bitcoin to pretty much surge from here on forward still. Yeah, from that perspective, man, I'm buying like a freaking madman, man. And overall on my channel, I've done a couple of videos by now as well, explaining some of the other coins which I've been buying, like the metaverse coins and whatnot. I might even today make another update on some of those coins and kind of give my thoughts on everything. Because it's been pretty damn crazy, man. It's been pretty damn crazy. Let me see. On my channel, what videos were the last ones I've made? Let's quickly see. So, I made the top 3 cryptos that I think will go pretty nutty. At least I'm hoping they will. Here was the XRP event price update. We did the bigger update about the 5 and 9, about the fun stuff as well. We also talked about some trendy coins right there. Here I talked about my 5 coins for the year. Here we talked about a couple extra coins as well. Here I think a little bit before that we had like a metaverse update somewhere. Not even sure where that is anymore. But I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff here, a lot of crazy coins that I've been covering. Here's the metaverse one. Because right now it's just, there's so much opportunities to make money in crypto right now. It's so freaking easy. Which is why I recommend everybody to subscribe to the channel for more crypto updates every single day. As it's not only trading, it's not only news, it's a little bit of everything, you know? A little bit of the sales that I've been looking into, a little bit of the most trendy coins, a little bit of the updates you need. It's just everything. Face review? I'm still thinking about doing that. I'm still not sure whether or not I want to. But I told you guys maybe at one point if there's, if the demand is there and people go crazy on that like button eventually, I might do that. But I just put up a couple of requirements, like if we get like, 5,000 likes on one video at one point, I'll do it. And then, because, you need the people to actually want it. And a lot of people just don't care. So I'm like, if people don't care, why would I do it then? You know what I mean? Faisal says, Dusty, please tell us when to buy XRP as it went back down to 125. Do we buy at 125 or what? Please answer. So Faisal, the most difficult thing to ever tell people is where to buy, right? Obviously, if I knew exactly where to buy and it was certain about these things, then I wouldn't be making these videos because there would be $50 billion in the bank right now, if you get my drift. So it's not a certainty, but there is a how do we trade and how do we set it up. And for example, a setup to buy, for example, at $1, let's say 23.8, and then have your stop loss, like for example, $1, 20.6, a little bit below the previous lowest point, so to speak here, it could work out very well, hypothetically speaking. Now, we're a little bit too late for that, though. So what we do the next time? Yeah, but every single time it comes back in, it becomes a little bit riskier because you have more, depending on the volume, you have potentially more downwards pressure. Then again, this move here already was pretty risky and pretty scary to watch. We get a nice little bounce from our previous resistance line, which now turned into support line, and we might get that again. It depends, but we might pull through. I mean, we have some resistance here at about $1.28. The bigger resistance at $1.30, which is funny because we did call that out yesterday. I told you guys all, if you're buying a $1.14, sell just a little bit below $1.30, and we came to $1.2974, which I think is rather funny. But it is a little bit difficult to say right now. But that's also because I have such a long-term vision in my mind. I'm like, if you're buying these not with leverage, then it's all basically the same thing. If you're spending $1.26 on some XRP or $1.13, it's not that big a difference. It's only if you're trading it actively right now or trading it with leverage that the buy-in price actually matters a lot. Because at the end of the day, if the price, let's say, like we talk about, it's going to $12, $13 in the short term. Who cares if you bought a $1.26, $1.13? It's the slightest bit of difference if you guys get my drift. So it's only if you're actively trading that this stuff matters a lot. Let's see. ADA is a good buy now, just a heads up. I do think so. I think ADA, VeChain, all very, very good opportunities. Most metaverse coins, I think, are still good opportunities to buy right now as we speak. Always be careful with leverage as well, guys. Don't just overstay your welcome, so to speak. Don't just go crazy nutty if you don't know what you're doing. Same thing for normal trading as well. Always be careful. Don't just ape into something. Because a lot of people make that mistake. They go too crazy. They go too overzealous too quick. No. Always be careful. Always be taking it easy, so to speak. What do you think about Quant? I hold Quant. Somebody else said, what about KCS? I think we did an analysis on KCS like yesterday. I think it was looking very bullish. Do you hold VTHO along with VET? Well, yeah, you get VTHO for staking VET, so I definitely have a lot of VTHO by now because I've been staking VET for a very long time. I also have bought VTHO a couple of times, but I'm, more so excited about VET. The VTHO is just a byproduct. RLC says, have you talked about Star Atlas yet? I think we did. I think somebody asked about the Atlas thing before, and I looked it up. And, I think also metaverse related, right? I don't have it. I didn't buy it, but I did look it up. I think it looks like most metaverse projects right now are just honestly really good. So if I had to pick for people what coins to buy right now, like what would I go for? I would definitely say have a good percentage in metaverse related coins. Some people right now are saying the Meta Hero. I saw people say Block. I saw some people say the Atlas thing. Which of those will do well? It's difficult. It's really difficult to say because they're all pretty similar and they all have kind of the same goal. But I personally always go for a strategy of just buy quite a couple of them, buy a little bit. People say, oh, but I can't have enough into one coin then. It doesn't matter. If you have $1,000 into 3 coins or one coin with $3,000, you're spreading your risk basically and potentially spreading the profit. But usually it's just spreading the risk. It's basically better if you ask me. And Johan says, Dusty, another person also asked the question in this chat as I wanted to. Can the judge say at one certain moment where someone... People ask questions which are hypothetically maybe possible, but in theory or in practice is not going to happen. What's not going to happen is the judge not all of a sudden going to say now, you know what, done, Ripple, you win. It's not going to happen. It's just that's dreaming, It's the same thing as saying, can Ripple now, is the SEC just going to give up? Yeah, they can. They're not going to do that, but they could. They could just give up right now. They could. But, let's stick with the reasonable scenarios, which are the judge decides a couple of things in a row, which make the SEC very scared. They want to come to a settlement rather quickly, okay? Or the SEC and Ripple come to a settlement right now, okay? Or the SEC steps back and decides to make rules. That's also a possibility. But otherwise, it's just going to be the judge making a decision after she's got all the information. It's not going to be a decision up front. That would be strange. Maybe in theory possible, but in practice, no. Let's see what else you guys are saying. A couple of you guys are talking about Saitama. Yeah, I saw that coin do really well. I don't hold it. I don't have it. I'm not sure what it does. I think because of the anime, no? Or is there another... Does Saitama mean something else? I would say because of One Punch Man. Not sure what else it could be pumping for. Following the latest governance proposal, we lowered the amount of FTM necessary to run a validator node. Starting today, the minimum requirement to run a validator node on Phantom is about 500k Phantom. How much is one Phantom? I don't even know that, to be honest with you. Let me actually check that out. How much is one FTM? I don't even know what ranking FTM is at as well. I don't have Phantom that close in my head. So it's about $3. So you'd still need $1.5 million then though, right? To run one. It's pumping. What's pumping up? Entire market? I guess the entire market is doing really well, huh? AVAX still doing really juicy. I had a little update on AVAX here. Let me quickly see where I have it. Oh no, I didn't. Where's my AVAX update? Because I did an update on you guys for AVAX yesterday, huh? You guys saw it on my channel? You guys saw it on my channel. We talked about AVAX. Here was another one. I had another. Let me see if I have it on the side here. My article. I had 2 articles on AVAX, but it's gone now. Let me quickly see if I can find it again. Because I have a couple of really funny parts that I want to share. But I think I'm going to just do it in a video later today. Because I have so much cool stuff to share. Here was where to buy AVAX as it continues on a bullish run. On a monster run. AVAX for a good part I think is going bullish right now. Also because of the grayscale announcement that we saw. Here we're also seeing. We just updated pool view with basic performance data. You'll be able to see the changes in staking, token price, and whatnot for some of these things. Okay. I'm not really sure what else is going on for AVAX, like natively. What's making people so excited about it? Not too sure about that. AMP is good. FTM up 11%. Oh, FTM is pumping, you guys mean. Okay, maybe my blind ass didn't even see. Let's quickly check back. FTM up 11% indeed. And crowcrypto.com. I wish, guys, oh man. I wish I made a video about that. I think I only mentioned it like once. I mentioned VChain yesterday, which is also juicy. But I think I only mentioned it once that that Crow is going to pump because of the Cronus announcement. I think I only mentioned it once. I wish I did a separate video about it. That was like 3 days ago. What was it? 23 cents, I think. I think it went like up. It almost doubled over the last like 3 days. But there was basically an announcement which one of my friends told me about. He said, buy into it now. Because I was looking into crypto.com to actually use the platform. And he told me, man, there's going to be this big of an announcement. Check it out. Buy it. It's going to pump. Yeah, if only I trusted him even more, I would have put more money into it, huh? But I didn't. And now it's up freaking 18%. That is nutty. That is nutty. But I'm going to be doing an update later on some of these coins and why they're pumped. Oh, the freaking Siri, man. It's annoying. I'm going to be doing an update later on why some of these coins are going nutty right now. I have more stuff to talk about regarding them. By the way, guys, check out the Telegram. If you haven't done that yet, you might want to see it. It's pretty cool. A lot of people in there, a lot of cool chats, a lot of cool stuff to be discussed. And a lot of you guys are asking, what is all of a sudden with the face reveal? Why are you guys all of a sudden talking so much about it? Let's see. So the AVAX one, I'm holding a lot of AVAX. I definitely bought a good chunk of it the last time I talked about it. And I think it's because you can, it's because you can stake it as well. Like stakeable coins are always easier to buy for me because I'm like, let's say it's a 10% APY. It's like, well, if the price dumps 10%, you're eventually going to get it back too. And over a year, I don't think the price will actually be 10% lower. It will most likely be either the same or more. That's always what I have in my head. Or it has to kind of equate back to it with the APY, which is, for example, things like Axie. I'm like, well, if Axie decides to dump, the percentage of them getting every single month will most likely equate for it over the longer term, which is why I don't really mind Axie's uncertainty, so to speak. Let's see what you guys are saying. I don't think they're bothered about looking incompetent. They should be focusing on dodgy coins like Squid Game. Yeah. You know, if they focus on the right things, if they had the right priorities, we wouldn't be here right now. So, not exactly sure about that one. Praat Nederlands? Why? Waarom? Why? If the SEC only had the right priorities, we wouldn't be here today. So, that's not it. At least if you ask me, that's not it. Totally not interested in the finish. All show for stalling. Any update from the in-camera review? No. We do not. Crow is by the hype? I don't think so. I think a lot of the Crow is actually for the fact that right now they had the Cronus upgrade. Very useful, very nice. I'm not sure if it's only hype, to be honest with you. I'm also not really seeing Crow as like a hype type of coin. I think it's like coinciding with the rest of these. Wow, but Bitcoin is going like a freaking beast. I guess that's why, huh? Bitcoin like a freaking beast. $66.3 thousand. Ethereum, 47.65. Whew! That's most likely why some altcoins are not doing as well, because a lot of that money is flowing right back into Bitcoin and Ether right now. Doing amazing right now. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you press that like button. Right now we are at, I'll show you guys. Here, you can see it for yourself. We are at, oh, I cannot even see it. It says, this is what it says for me, so I'm not sure if we have 20 likes or 200. Right now, this is the amount of likes we're at. Put something in the chat box if you're seeing this right now. We had about 4,000 people watching in total. That's what the numbers are. We have 400 people watching right now, or 387. I'm not sure which one is the right one. Make sure you press the like button if you're watching this right now and say hi in the chat box so you can see yourself. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by saying hi. You guys are all amazing. But you guys already know that, right? You guys already know that you're amazing. We have about 400 people watching, about 4,000 people who've stopped by total, in total. And we only, how many likes we got, guys? Because I can only see the 2. Whatever. It's all good. Hello from Florida. What's up, Scott? What's up? How you doing, Scott? A lot of these coins do really amazing, man. Today's been a good day. Crow up 17%. AVAX up 13%. FTM up 11%. And these are specifically the coins we talked about yesterday, huh? Let's only see Mana real quick. I want to see Mana to see how that one is doing, because that was the last one that I really was pushing a little bit on my own, because I like the one. So Engine is down a little bit, but that's nice. It's an easy opportunity to buy more. I'm not sure what ranking Mana is. I think it's way bigger than I'm going at right now. I think it's supposed to be way higher, right? Guys, I'm not sure how high Mana is supposed to be. I think it's... Is it at the top? Yeah, here we go. It's down 5% as well. Okay, another good buying opportunity. I'm buying those like crazy, man. All those metaverse coins, good buying opportunity if you ask me. I'm buying them like freaking mad. But some of the coins which we covered yesterday are doing really well right now, which is nice to see. Specifically, AVAX, Crow, Vichin doing okay. It's up about half a cent or about a cent from when we talked about it. And FTM, luckily we talked about all of these on the channel. Doing good. Some of these coins doing really, really well. I'm happy to see. When Lambo, if XRP reaches $10 this year, I'll buy one, I think. Not sure for what other reason I would buy one. Peter says, is it a bad idea to accumulate after the bull after January? We don't know when the bull run is going to end, so I'm just buying like a freaking madman. I don't really care about the norms and normal things. Wow, there we go. Nice. No, just buy like a freaking madman, man. That's me. But you guys most likely already know that. Alright, but guys, that was it for today's stream here. We talked about the Ripple loss, we talked about some of the other things. A little bit later, I actually have a video coming up on why these coins are going trending right now and what's going on with them, as I think it's about to be pretty interesting. Thank you for the freaking blesses. Alright, as I said, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video, or live stream I should say. If you did, make sure you press the like button, and of course subscribe to the channel for more of these. A little bit later, I got some crazy updates coming, so stick around and you'll enjoy them. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. So thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi. Adios, amigos.